there's nothing. It's just like, let's just attack black women. So when you say that I'm going after the young YNs, why don't you check them young YNs that are opening up rooms bashing black women that could, quite frankly, be the likes of their grandmothers and their mothers that aren't out in these streets getting their back blown out. That is one of my biggest points of contention with this whole fucking movement.
Is this a gaslighting room or something? Like, this has got to be like...
Who's gaslighting?
For Omar Bartov, I thought made a very good case. Raz, what's his name?
For the intention?
But they don't have access to the information that would say there are orders to do, X,
Listen, I don't know. I just was convinced by their arguments, but try to convince me elsewhere. I just know that...
What arguments? They're civilians. Who cares what they say? Do you think any of us give a shit what any of them have to say?
No, I'm talking...
They have no power or no say in the government in Israel. So no, what does that have to do with
Let me put it like this, Buttercup. Buttercup. Let me put it like this.
Let's not get hung up on semantics, okay?
Hold on, Buttercup. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt for 1 second. I'm going to explain something.
Can I just finish, Phoebe?
No, hold on. Because people that are speaking out against their own country usually lie and stretch the truth. And you should know better than that.
Why are you lumping me in with other people who you claim speak out against their country? I don't claim... First of all,
I didn't say that. I didn't say that about you. I'm saying the people that you're listening to that are speaking out.
Bartov is lying about his country? He's an academic.
People lie about their country all the time.
Well, hold on. Let's not get to the point of lying. He doesn't have access to the information in which...
He served in the IDF.
Yeah, just
academics still have interest to answer to.
Have information, intelligence.
So maybe he's wrong. I found him convincing. Maybe he's wrong. Can we leave it at that?
He's equating death with genocide.
I mean,
okay,
I don't want to leave it at anything, Buttercup, because I just read your bio and it makes me believe you are a self-hating Jew. You literally, just in one sentence, I can just get that out of you, and everything I've heard from you also.
Buttercup, I have a question. Buttercup, when you learned Hebrew, did you make an effort to pronounce?
Who cares about that? No, who cares about that? Who cares about that?
I think it says something
who
about
cares about that, though?
No, I speak Hebrew with an American accent. But
listen, but your bio...
He doesn't have an attitude on the man.
Even our number one troll, Al, he has a problem with it.
Is Al Jewish? Like, what is this guy? He's a Jew?
No, he's the LARPing Norm. His Norm accent is like 1-to-1.
I thought it was Norm for a second.
So if you want to know what I believe, why don't you just ask me? Why are you making assumptions?
Okay, no,
that's what we're trying to do. For the last couple of days talking.
You know what? Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Tell us what you believe.
I've heard you debating the real Norm. Like, I heard you debating him for an hour last night. What do you mean? Like, I know what your stances are.
Do you think that Norm is arguing in good faith? Do you think he's like a fair interlocutor?
You know what? Listen, I've known Norm on this app for almost 5 years, and when I first met him, he was a big lefty. Very, very left. He didn't care. He wanted a two-state solution and all this. He's changed his ways a lot since the very beginning. I have to give him that.
So maybe you'll convince
me. But he's okay, maybe. But he still has a long way to go. But I think
we got to give her credit. We got to give her credit. She's actually saying she wants to learn.
Okay, that's actually really good.
I doubt you'll convince me, but you should try. That's why we're.
Well, if you're coming in with that mentality already, then there's no point of you trying.
I've heard a lot of these arguments that you've presented, but I'd like to hear more of them. I'd like to see if you have anything new to say.
Buttercup, the army that is in Gaza is the IDF. Okay, it's your family members. It's my family members. You've been to Israel. You know the society. Do you actually believe that? What?
No,
L. I don't have energy for you. I'm sorry. L. So everybody, L is like cosplaying as a Jew in order to spread Jew hatred. He's not a Jew. He's actually an anti-Semitic person that is pretending to be a Jew in order to defame us. So Buttercup, you've been to Israel. You have family, you say, which I assume serve the IDF. I serve the IDF. My entire family serves the IDF. I right now have 2 people in my family that are serving the IDF. Do you actually believe that there's a genocide going on, that there's a mission to kill Palestinians? And if so, how come the strongest army in the Middle East almost that was able to do what they did to Hezbollah, do what they did to Iran, Like, do you actually believe that there's a possibility that there is an order or there's like some kind of...
Okay.
Unless you're spitting Jew hatred. But listen, you did say it in good faith. That's what we're taking it as, because Harry never backs down. So he's actually probably thinking that you're probably here because you probably do want to learn. And but you did come in a little bit where you're like, I highly doubt it. But we're giving you the benefit of the doubt because, listen, if somebody wants to learn, we have so many smart people in this room. I don't profess to be one of them.
I hope we can learn from each other.
Exactly.
Good.
Well, we've learned from people like you a lot. That's the thing. So we've already learned that. I think it's on your part to actually learn.
You don't know anything about me. You don't know where I stand.
We know plenty about you, Buttercup.
So
you're brand new to that, but people like you. Sure, not a problem. I just want to say people like
her I was lined up with all the genders.
Are very vocal about their stance. You're very vocal about your stance the last couple of days, and we've heard you. Don't worry. People listen on this app, so just remember that. Okay.
So, first of all, I just want to say quickly that my position is I support a strong democratic Israel. That's my position, okay? So, if that's anti-Zionism to you, so be it.
No, that is exactly my same here.
What we all believe in.
Good. See, we found common ground. Now, let's...
So it will stay like this. That it will stay like this.
So, I think that we need some new ideas, and some people think new ideas are anti-Semitism.
No, understand.
New ideas, yeah. What are the new ideas?
So I talked to Daniel about it earlier.
Do you believe in a two-state solution, Buttercup? Do you believe that Palestinians
I wanted to ask. I already asked her one question, and I would like.
Let's take that question. You asked me if I think it's a genocide, if it's intentional for brothers.
Originally came in for because I was going to vote on the poll. And then I was like, in terms of what? Yeah.
I'm going to be as respectful as possible. That was a whole lot of nothing, bro. You want to vote.
Hypersensitivity to what, though? Because I feel like every single one of those entire groups are hypersensitive to certain specific things. I have strong opinions on, all. But... yeah.
I would say the men, to be honest with you, Jay.
My experience is, and if it don't apply, let it fly, people. But a lot of the men on this app are straight bitches. They gossip worse than any old washwoman I've ever seen. The women will come at each other, but they'll say, you got saggy titties, you got a fat ass, whatever these women say to each other. But the men... ooh, and then what they'll do is they'll say something they know has maybe 1% nugget truth, and they'll start the fucking gossip, the rumors, all of it. That's the men on this app, right? Is this jerk-off still in here? There's a guy in here earlier who called me the most egregious names you could call a man in another room without him knowing that I saw what he said. Amazing to me. Amazing. Right? And then when I call him out on it, he wants to back down. Some of you men are straight bitches, and that's how I feel. It's my opinion. To crack me in the corner.
You know what's crazy, Jay? I remember summers going out to New York, and my grandma used to have a bridge club.
They're using innocent
She's right.
to go
Hamas is committing war crimes by using their people as human shields.
Why are you saying? Hold on. Why are you saying that they're innocent? Let's say, okay,
because they're children and elderly people. Even if they're guilty, they're not actively Hamas.
How do you know? How do you know that they're elderly? And who did you speak to?
They spoke to the press. These people were they.
They don't need to. And if the commanders say tough shit, they don't need to. And if the commanders say tough shit, it cannot. He has no authority to say it. Those soldiers overruled him. Now, if they really did commit crimes or were told to commit crimes, you do not go to the press. Okay, you can go also to the press, but there's an independent judicial system in the army that is not under the chief of staff.
They went to the press. They went to.
What do you mean? Hold on. What do you mean when it failed? Hold on. What do you mean? What do you mean it failed? That they didn't find merit in their because the judicial arm of the army has no obligations to the army. They have an obligation to the law. Okay, it's always been like this. Is why they prosecute soldiers that commit crimes. If they went there and they told them, like, as you said, it failed, so they go to somewhere else, like Shovrim Shtika, that their barrier for accepting a testimony is like, does it defame the IDF? Sure, then we support it. So I'm asking you, you said that they went to to file a complaint and it failed. Can you elaborate? How did it fail?
So I think we need to talk about specific cases, because I don't know every single case, but I will say that it is a bureaucracy, right? Like whenever you file something in the IDF, you're going through a bureaucracy. If you know anyone in the IDF and you've been in the IDF, you know it's a giant bureaucracy and it's hard to get anything moving. If it's an urgent matter, they're going to go to the press.
That is not true. I've been to the IDF, and I can tell you that you can.
It's almost comical.
Go to court. You can go to court within like 2 days. Okay, it's not a bureaucracy, and especially there's a difference between someone stole my kit bag or I lost my kit bag, then we're committing war crimes. Okay. It's not like, okay, please take a number, we'll call you in 2 weeks. It's not the same.
Why is there such a huge backlog of war crime complaints that have been filed? There's a huge backlog in the IDF. They're sitting on it.
Where are you getting this information?
I'll find you a link.
Oh, we want to see. Okay. We want to see where this link is.
But when you read a link, okay, you need to read inside the article, what is the source? I mean, whatever publication you might have, they are not like sitting at the computer and making up stuff. They will have to say, okay, we got this information from, I don't know. And if it's a public record, because obviously
they have to put attribution to every claimant in the newspaper.
Right. So tell me, what is the attribution?
Okay, I'm finding it.
If you have, thank you very much. And just so you know, okay, the fact that crimes are committed, or that soldiers do things that are not supposed to do, it doesn't mean that Israel or the IDF are committing those crimes. Now, did you ever check how many soldiers were prosecuted during this war for like looting or for like all kinds of stuff? Because the system is working. I don't know what kind of backlog you're talking about. I know that the system is working. Also, they're not necessarily waiting for complaint. Remember the Sdeteman rape allegation? There was a Nukhba terrorist, okay? A Nukhba terrorist that told the doctor in the prison that he was assaulted. The doctor filed a complaint. An investigation was opened. They raided the base. They took the videos. They arrested the people based on the complaint. So what backlog? We saw it in real time happening. We saw it live. Not only that it happened.
You mean with the Sdei Taman case?
Odlo.
Are you talking about Sdei Taman?
The entire story came from Israel. It wasn't like a whistleblower that revealed it. No, everything was exposed, revealed. No, even like, where do you think we got the videos from Sdeteman?
They didn't release the video. The video was leaked, to the press.
Leaked by who? Leaked by who?
Someone inside the base. There were countless. There are countless soldiers.
Do you know what kind of operation?
To the press.
So tell me how it goes. Okay, so this.
You read the Haaretz articles, right? Did you?
And I'm getting my sources not from Haaretz, but
okay. But Haaretz interviewed dozens of people who work at Sdei Taman that talked about sadism.
But hold on. I understand. I'm using critical thinking. Okay, so the story broke because
our brothers and sisters are trying for help. They're blowing the whistle, and you're calling them liars. That's what's happening.
Well, the fact that you're calling them whistleblowers, maybe you're the line. You just believe them without no evidence. But I want to do critical thinking with you for a second. Okay, so. To kind of examine what you believe happened or what you were told that happened. Sure. So this Nukhba terrorist went to the doctor, filed the complaint. He moved it forward and filed to the military police. They started an investigation. At some point, you say that someone in Sdeteman knew about it, like he was told that this happened at this moment and that the fire was complained, and he went to the control room, went back to the time, recorded the video, risked himself, sending it to the press. Like, this is what, how did he know, like, what to look, when to look? Like, how did it happen in your eyes? Because he told it to a doctor, okay? And the doctor filed the complaint. There is no, like, a bulletin board, like, hey, those are, like, the complaints that were filed today.
Daniel, you're right. I don't know the details of how that maybe it is Israel that
just to make sense. Right. We don't know the facts, and I also don't know the facts.
I just,
Okay.
I don't know who released the video, but I do know that there were dozens of young soldiers who were forced to serve at State Taman who spoke up about what they saw there. So it's
do you have their names, or
yes.
it's all anonymous?
Very few of them are put their names on it, but some did, and some of them are interviewed with their voices concealed. But at least one of them put their name on it.
Amazing. So they saw stuff that they didn't like in Steteman, and they filed a complaint. As far as I know, I think they shut down Steteman afterwards because they were complained. But
yeah, that's right. Even the Israeli system has shut it down and asked them to fix problems.
Yeah, but that will show you that there is no backlog, and when complaints are made,
so
they are addressed.
They couldn't look away. But there are other cases like this.
No. So that was so egregious, but genocide. So we're over, like if you're talking about Steteman and you're taking
there were no consequences for the rapists. Also, there was no consequences. They're free. They're all walking around.
Hold on. With all due respect, as a woman, I would suggest don't call anyone a rapist unless they are convicted. Okay?
Exactly. No convictions. Please. What does that mean? What does that tell you?
Why? Because let's see. Did you follow up on the story?
Yes.
Because that okay. So the Nukma terrorist was then, after the allegations were made, he was sent to the head of the Shiva hospital, okay, that examined him. And he issued a report. Did you read the report? I will tell you what the report said, okay? The report said that the bleeding that he had in his rectum, because the bleeding was inside but nothing on the outside, the determination for him was that it was self-inflicted. That basically the only way that only the interior will be damaged, but nothing on the exterior, if you understand how an anus works, is that he...
There was at least one case where there was reconstructive surgery. Like there was completely...
Yes, but it doesn't mean that anyone raped them. And you are blaming people.
I mean, I've seen numerous interviews of people who claim they were a hot rod was put upside, like people, not even prisoners that were convicted of everything. They were let go. They were completely, Israel arrested them during their raid, and they just all men. They rounded them up, and then they let them go. And they said they had things like metal rods shoved up their ass.
Who said that?
Multiple. I mean, it's Palestinians who you see as incredible, but they looked. It sounded. I think we should give some credence to what people are saying when they come out of Israeli prison.
No, so I tell you what, I hear every day 3 new allegations, and some of them are even broadcast on the BBC. Why are they all telling the same story
about the hot rod, even though they weren't in the same prison? How do they all have the same story with the hot rod up their ass?
I don't know the communication, and once they go out, they can be told. And again, if you follow the rate of allegations that are coming against Israel, it's like we get 3 a day, new ones, and then we have like a week or 2 weeks later, if it goes to mainstream media, retraction. It could also be the cover of the Time magazine. It could be a heartbreaking story. They don't check, and they just believe, basically like you do. You are here, basically with nothing but allegations, no evidence, no convictions, no nothing, but you are very convinced, and you are not only convinced.
No, I'm not very convinced. I give credence to the voices of the soldiers on the ground. The soldiers, the kids, 18-year-old kids who are forced to do this, who are being put in traumatic situations, right? That's who I'm listening to, and I think their voices need to be elevated.
Well, it's no, they need to be, no. The fact that someone says, and no, I'm sorry. Repeating a lie doesn't make it true. You need to investigate and find the truth.
I just posted a link. What happens when they investigate? In 80% of cases, they just come up with no finding. They don't give a shit.
So
that's not what it said in the article.
All right, what does it say in the article?
It said either they have 88% are unsolved, or they found no wrongdoing. So I don't know where you're getting, your comprehending skills are coming from.
It basically proves the point of accusations as well. Allegations are cheap and fast. Lies, it's cheap and fast. Investigations find the truth. But for you, they're already rapists. You don't care about the investigation. You don't care about due process. You want to elevate the voices of those accusing soldiers with crimes. You don't care about facts. Because if you did, I want to tell you.
Soldiers who say they're being forced to commit crimes.
So if now, like 4 of us would say that you raped us, that would make that then we can call you a rapist because we want to elevate the voices of people that saying that you are a rapist.
Listen,
or
if
would
it
you
was just one case and that was the only evidence, that would be one thing. But it's not.
I understand. So you say I say so basically repeating it. So this is why I said 4 of us would say that you're not just me, one crazy. 4 of us.
Then there's more
because
credibility.
We don't
yes,
like you.
When multiple people accuse someone of rape, there's more likely chance.
All right. So I guess you're a rapist.
That you have raped us.
Okay, so yes, she was willing.
If all of us said that I raped you,
get off your crazy horse. Come on, that's crazy.
If 4 people are accusing me of rape, I probably should be shunned. You know, I probably
no. Buttercup, I'm sorry. Truth is repeating a lie doesn't make it true. We actually care for the truth.
Because there's high stakes. There's high stakes.
Buttercup, were you smart? Were you known for being smart growing up?
You have your own head. You know whether or not you raped us.
If 4 people gang up against you who are trying to kill you and say you raped them, that probably means you should be ostracized.
Computer running like a Motorola
just like in Western.
You kind of grok the complexity of it.
But couldn't I just use a Windows Millennium Edition laptop?
True, you could.
That still accesses the internet, I assume.
Windows 2000 is actually Windows NT is like decent.
Windows Millennium Edition was not. It was that even more awkward phase between Windows XP and Windows Vista. Like, there was Windows Millennium Edition before that, and if you thought Vista was bad, oh my.
Yeah, we had an HP laptop with Windows ME. It was dog shit.
I liked XP.
I didn't mind XP, but Windows 2000 was honestly like perfect for like a single-threaded computer.
Back when computers could only have one thought at a time. That was great tech. I loved that. Now we got asynchronous, we got thread pools, we got service workers, we got a whole bunch of shit. Make computers all super fiddly. I ain't gotta know all sorts of fancy words just to Google shit.
Blame Chromium for that. Blame JavaScript. Actually, a lot of old systems, like any company that actually makes real things, is still pretty much using like JDK, like JDK 7 or something. It's all Java.
I see Wiggle there to bring him up. Hey Wiggle, it's been a while. What you up to?
What up?
What up? What up?
Yeah, did you get a better computer setup?
What up? What's up?
It's got a lower latency version. That's like it's a higher latency version of cells. Wiggle, if you got a computer set up, we can play some Halo.
I got a PlayStation set up. I don't know if Halo is on it though.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna work. Damn it.
Let me check. Maybe they port it.
Could be.
But I do have a Diablo up and running.
I'm not playing Diablo at the moment anymore. I completely cracked out, and yeah.
Gotcha.
I was done. Do they have the Halo Master Chief Collection on PlayStation?
The original was good.
Is it cross-platform though?
Yes.
It's PC to Xbox cross-platform.
Hang on.
Any other games you playing right now?
No, just Infinite at the moment. I was looking at some Helldivers, but that one's just an endless that one just gives me problems. I don't like it too much sometimes.
Yeah.
I went on Steam today, and they're having a Ukrainian game festival. So all the games that are made in Ukraine are on sale.
I don't know any too many Ukraine games, to be honest.
I was thinking of playing Dune with one of our people.
I heard they make board games.
I'm gonna get you to play Borderlands one day. I swear, you're gonna love it.
You guys ever play those like deep simulator games, like Farm Simulator or like Euro
Fuck
Simulator?
Farm Simulator. Fuck work simulators in general.
On that
Fuck
note,
work
be right
simulators.
back.
What?
I just never played those ones.
Simulators. I'll go take a nap. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. He talked about simulators. It's gotta happen. So sleepy now.
You're gonna play Nap Simulator?
Yeah, Nap Simulator 2009 when they hit their peak.
Yeah, I don't like simulators. No, I don't. Yeah.
It's a single player game, but it's also a multiplayer game.
I think it's funny that you there's people who like live stream themselves playing like Truck Simulator.
I know, right?
And they have like actual truck bodies in their
Dude, I was watching this guy. He's like this Mexican guy, and he's got like a full rig in his basement.
Yeah,
like,
dude's fucking hilarious.
An entire
like
18-wheeler with like a shifter, and it's got like six screens around him.
And they're all wrapping around like in a circle. Yeah, like
he has like a cup holder and shit.
Yeah, and they have like a little horn on it.
The thing that made me laugh the most is he had like a second seat next to his seat, so like somebody was hanging out with can like deal with him.
Is he the guy who LARPs as the bus driver?
I don't know. This guy had like 200 views on the video.
There's one Mexican dude who does that, and he LARPs as a bus driver. And he like turns around and like yells at fake people.
He yells at like fake kids.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny. See, I get the entertainment value.
You can practice
don't even have to be initiated.
Oh, here go
Do that.
Wait, nah, like two things.
Yeah. With the people.
I think that, of course, they are being not only honest, very professional. They're being all kinds of voices, but we are not spreading lies. That's the difference. What are you missing in Israel that we tell about the story, all the allegations, the daily allegations? For this you have Al Jazeera. We don't need the Israeli TV for this. Listen, you should actually expect some journalistic.
Right? I don't go into spaces of people I don't like. As a matter of fact, I just block them. I don't want to see you at all in my hallway. And if I do, it's just because we just happen to be in a room together. But, you know, I won't see your rooms if you're hosting them. I don't want the energy. So I don't get it. I don't, but somebody said the other day.
I told you why not. I told you why not. He's irrelevant in life. He's miserable. I'm being honest. I'm not even yelling or screaming or doxing this idiot. He's irrelevant in life. He's definitely irrelevant on here. Nobody gives a fuck about this dude. Nobody cares what he has to say. You know, he thinks it's funny doxing people and their families, calling people names. It's to draw attention to him because in his life, nobody pays attention to him. So let me just say this. Like I said, he's been blocked. I'm not going to remove him because I'm going to let him get out whatever he has to say off his chest, but he will never come back into health debates. He's permanently getting banned. And I'm going to be okay with that because you know what? My rooms will still fill up and I'll still be irrelevant. About that, Nye. You don't breathe smoke. You don't breathe air into the fire.
Yeah, you know, the problem I have is, you know, I don't want to center Rich or anything. Feel like I've been honest with Rich in my kind of assessment about how he moves on the app. You know, Rich knows how I feel about how some shit went down last night, which I didn't like, and which is unfortunate because I know I'm probably in the minority when I say this. JB, don't give me no smoke. Despite it, I've enjoyed being in spaces with Rich because to me, Rich is funny.
Hey, nice. Let me check this out.
I'll shut up.
You don't have to shut up. No. Let's have the conversation. We'll use Rich because Rich loves that. Rich is probably jerking off to our voices right now. Nobody said two words to him, and he starts automatically gaslighting the chat and saying things about me. rest assured he's going to say things about you. And I say this because Rich was always welcome in my space until he got butthurt. Until I moved him to the audience a couple of times. So I kicked him out because he was saying the craziest lies. So I used to enjoy Rich as well. But Rich has found this new lane of doxing and thinks it's funny. But you know what happens? It's always another ball game when the rabbit's holding the gun. And these walls are going to get closer and closer on these people. I promise you. It's all good. I told you I wasn't going to speak about anybody that opened rooms about me tonight. I'm not. Keep talking about. Do me a favor. Open a room every fucking day. Because every time you open rooms, you guys, my rooms get bigger. So sincerely, thank you so much. Yeah, Pat.
I don't know the person you guys are talking about, but I'm sorry you have to go through a bad experience on here. And like, I feel like it's almost a rite of passage on here. Like some like weirdo follows you around and like, yeah, like it's. I'm sorry you guys had to go through that. I'm surprised I haven't run into you on here before. Like I came on Clubhouse during like COVID, and I wish I'd run into you guys before. You guys seem cool. You're both from New York, or like you. I'm assuming NY, New York. JP said
No, she's in Chicago. But then again, we still love her. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah. Chicago's a cool city, top 5 city in the U.S. for sure.
Oh wait, for crime and diarrhea. What's the top 5 about?
Not
Chicago?
too much on the shy. Not too much on the shy.
Meat, the meat in Chicago, like the beef, the sausage, like it's just better. They got like more Eastern Europeans and like Polish, German. Like they got great sausages. They got. I don't think a Chicago deep dish is.
Hold on, Pat. Mute up for a second. Mute up for a second, please. I promise you can talk about all the meat you want. Nye, did you notice that how I handled that situation? And he left the room and didn't say another word. So that's how you handle it. And I'm going to say this now since she's in the room. Monica, I'm putting all grudges aside with you. I'm not going to bring up your name anymore. You have my word as a man. She left. I try to be respectful, graceful even, Nye, and she fled. She doesn't want peace. She wants smoke.
Yeah, I just noticed that. That's too bad she left. She would have been surprised by what you had to say.
It's all good. But you see how I handled Rich? Rich left the room and didn't say another fucking word in the chat. That's it. Hold on, Pat. I need you to mute up. Thank you. Read the room, baby. When I'm talking, let me talk. So, you see how you don't breathe air into it. That's it. And he never said another fucking word. He fled like the bitch he is.
Listen, and I also just want to make note. You said to me that he'll talk about me too. I have no doubt he probably already has. There's a handful of these guys on here who I don't know for certain, but I'm going to 100% say I assume, and I know what they say about assuming, that he and a handful of others have talked shit about me either with each other in their own room, and that's cool, right? That's cool. The one thing they're not going to do is bring it to me, right? They don't stand on business like that. So but the only one who I think would stand on business is Brad, because Brad has called me out on stages in the past week. So I think Brad is the only one. If he had some real issues, Brad, he might talk shit behind the scenes, but when he sees you, he's bringing the smoke.
Listen, one thing about Brad, even if I don't agree with him, he will stand on his square. 100%.
Yeah, I agree.
Whether he's right, wrong, and he's not going to admit that he's wrong, but he's going to stand on his square. So I saw you came back in, Monica. I'm offering you an olive branch. I'm not going to say a word about you. I'm not going to send any info about that. That's my word as a man on my children. I ask for the same courtesy in return. That's it. Just leave my name out of your mouth. You stop passing articles about me that have been passed on this app for 4 years already. I'm asking you respectfully. I'm doing this in a public forum. I spoke to Roger today. I said, Roger, I'm going to apologize to Monica. I'm going to offer an olive branch. We don't have to sing Kumbaya. We don't have to even share spaces with each other. Let's just leave each other alone. Because you see what's been going on in this app for the last 24 hours. It's enough already, Monica. And I say that sincerely. I'm not telling you what to do or how to move. You do you, kid. I'm just asking you, please, respectfully, leave my name out of your mouth. And I'll do the same courtesy. So, and I know a lot of people are shocked right now, like Nice, like, what the fuck is going on? John Kitover, where is my? I asked you to send me a message, Dingling.
Yeah, what's your Instagram?
It's in my profile.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Anyway, thank you, John. No, I said that because I had a long talk with Roger today offline. I said, you know what, man, I'm tired of this petty bullshit with people. What's done is done. You can't undo things. What you can do is not just do them again. And I'm just gonna stand on that. I hope she hears me. I hope she receives my message. And like I said, we don't have to sing Kumbaya, but we can at least respect each other. See, Monica, you came into my space. I didn't block you. I don't block you like that. I want you to come in. Monica, the truth is this. You're really smart. I don't agree with a lot of things you say, but you're smart. You add intelligence. You add a certain segment to each conversation. But I've never blocked you. You want to block me? That's fine. I'm not your cup of tea. That's okay because I drink coffee. We got Matt Cool in here. Matt gets a lot of smoke, but he ain't got room creators and. I like Matt Cool. I like Matt Cool also, but he knows what he does. We got Peola. We got Rachel. We got Joe B. We got Yoev. We got Jay. I don't even know what that is. A ferret in your PTR. We got Joss. We got Summer. Stinny. Yo, if you guys don't know Stinny, definitely get to know Stinny. We got Ann Hero in the house. For those you don't know, Ann Hero is an OG on this app. She's a pain in my ass, but she's like my sister from another mister. She knows when the shit hits the fan. She's running right here. JB, can you help me? We got Mike Moon now. Love Mike Moon. Anyway, guys, if you want to come up, raise your hand.
Can I ask a question?
You just did.
While we are debating about topics, how can you make known that you want to interrupt, or do you want to say something?
You flash your mic.
Or
he might not know how to do that, or he can say, "What do you think about this, JB?" When we say, "Can I get in the queue or can I speak next?" What do you think of that?
Flashing the mic will work.
Okay, cool.
Okay, that's clear. Thanks.
I hate that Monica left because I wanted to say also, a lot of us kind of navigate the same rooms and the same moderators or hosts of some of these rooms that we like to go in. And it would be nice, if we could put our grudges to the side. So as long as that, if the beef is not too deep, right? And I'm not directing this to Monica, but because she and I like some of the same people and go to the same rooms, and JB the same, and some people in the group. And not that any of these people are all mixed up in the same drama. But I agree with you, JB. I wish we could all just kind of, especially after yesterday, just moving forward, just keep the damn peace, right? Just keep the peace. Because I think a lot of us like to be in each other's company for the most part. And we don't have to, we can spar and argue and agree to disagree, but we don't have to take personal shots and jabs and dox each other. It's really never that serious. So
you know what I understand that? What is me having to run a Trump room or a race relations room or whatever rooms I run on a daily basis have to do with anything in my past? Where's the correlation there? I'm trying to understand that, right? Like if I'm talking about Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Mitch McConnell, if I'm talking about Nye McGee in her Hollywood room, what the fuck does my past have to do with anything? It just doesn't make sense how people just grab the lowest hanging fruit and love to gossip.
John said it's clubhouse politics. John, there's a typo there. I think you meant to put clown house politics.
Well, it's gossip and it's stirring the pot, and that's really what the definition of politics is in many ways.
Yeah, JB, your past has nothing to do with anything as far as I'm concerned. I've already told you a million times over when I started coming into your space, the number of people who would reach out to me on the back end. Then when Roger started modding me, somebody called me Roger's token. And they're like, you're surrounded by racist white men on the stage. And, someone reached out to a mutual friend and said, I'm concerned about her proximity to women because I sit in the room with you. I drown out. Yeah, right. I didn't want to put your name in it, but she knows what I'm saying. I have to drown out the noise. I don't pay attention to these people because the one thing I've noticed is folks want to police your actions on this app and who you hang out with, who you talk to, but these same people will go into rooms, the messiest, most ratchet ass rooms, and entertain foolishness, entertain women being put, disparaged, threatened, black women who hit me up on the back end talking shit, the same black women who will sit up in rooms hosted by black men, and all they do is bash black women all day, right? So I don't pay attention to the noise, JB. And to answer your question, what does your past have to do with, when you hosting other spaces? It doesn't, because they want to create beef with you. And if they can get your attention and get you to
Rich, where you at, Rich?
Guess what? As you know, you've given them content. Now they're going to open up a room to talk shit. Wait, what? Welcome back. What is happening? Yo, I love Adams. Adams, so you weren't here. JB extended an olive branch to Monica, apologized to Monica. Okay, and I was just saying, guys, can we keep it peaceful going forward? I was speaking in general, because some of us...
Courageous he is. And so he ends up quitting. And so I told you right away that there are other Israeli experts who, in fact, disagree with Bartov.
No, I agree. There's no consensus. They surveyed all the Holocaust survivors over the world. In fact, it was like really splintered. I think that whatever they have some convention that they all meet at, and I think halfway through the war they were split. Right, half of the experts worldwide thought it was a genocide, and half thought it wasn't, and they debated it. But I think a year and a half later, there's a full year later since they last voted on it, I think most of them, there's a consensus now it has devolved into something that resembles a genocide. So listen, I'm not saying it, they're saying it.
Buttercup.
And so even if some people thought it wasn't a genocide initially, or that wasn't the intent, it's devolved into something that is unmistakable and looks a lot like genocide.
Intent requires orders from the political leadership to the army. The people that you're talking about, the academics, do not have access to that information. They are being prescriptive. They can retroactively look at Rwanda, and they can look at 3,000 tons of information was brought into the Nuremberg trials. That documentation exists. People can look at things that happened in the past. The people that you're referring to, unless they've got like some superhuman capability, do not have access to actual orders if they even existed. So
Jacob, she already made up her mind. She literally said things that we are Nazis. This is how down the rabbit hole she went. I'm speaking. You did, okay? You called my nephew and my brothers Nazis, and this is why I said, fuck you, and I will say again, fuck you, and be a better
Stop putting words in my mouth. I said I'm defending our brothers and sisters on Gaza. I want them to be. I want to listen to them.
You said. Don't gaslight me, okay? Don't gaslight me. You blame them for war crimes. You call people rapists, and now you say that we're doing the.
I said they're defying orders to commit war crimes. That's the opposite of what I said.
You said that they are committing the final solution, which is exactly the Holocaust inversion. If you look under the definition of anti-Semitism, you might find your face under inversion of Holocaust. Just take it and don't do it ever.
Thank you. So he came into this space, right, thinking that it's going to be okay. That like Doc's me. Doc's one of my good friends, not just on this app, but in real life. So I needed to call attention to that, so I could show people how you handle idiots like that gracefully. You don't have to scream. You don't have to be hyperbolic. You don't have to do crazy shit like that. You just handle it like a man. So Rich got called out. Let me finish, bro. I'm going to kick you because you have mind control. But let me say this. Rich got called out because Rich was in the space. If other people come in, trust me, I got no problems calling them out either. This might be the first time I'm sharing space with you. Get familiar how I run my rooms. So before you open your mic again, let me say hello to Matt, who doesn't come to my stage. Matty, what's good?
Oh, good evening, JB.
You say that like you're surprised I'm talking nice to you. Good evening, NY. Good evening, sir. How are you? What am I, chopped liver? Man, what's up, man? Hey, you the hood? The hood, man. Congress. Oh, Matt, you know what I said before was true. You hang out with some thinglings. Just saying. I can't be guilty by association. This is silly. Like, do you like everything that's said on your stage? Do you become part of that conversation and guilty the minute the person says it? I'm just trying to figure out why. Like, I guess you have an issue with that.
It's been ongoing on this app that for some reason people are guilty for things that are said on their.
Hey, you know what happens, Matt? Check this out. I was kind of being facetious when I was talking about you earlier, but since you want to get real, let's get real. When you enable known racists, when you enable idiots, lunatics, and reprobates like Sarah to have a voice and dox people, then guess what? If that's your room, that's your responsibility, my friend.
But I have nothing to do with the doxing, so I can't be responsible.
So when you give somebody like Sarah, and listen, I don't think you dox. I've never heard you dox anybody. But when you give people, I'm using Sarah.
He hasn't. Just for the record,
let me finish.
He hasn't.
I know he hasn't, Adams. Let me finish. But let me say this, Matt. When you enable these people, you're just as guilty as the perpetrator. When you give these people a platform, because listen, Matt, I like your rooms. I do. I like you. I said that twice before. But look around. Look who my mods are. Right? Look who I associate with. So unfortunately, yes, you're guilty by association when people come into your space and you mod them and they do egregious things.
I just disagree. So I mean, a lot of people say a lot of bad stuff on your stage. I don't call you out and start saying, well, why do you support that? Why are you doing that? I mean, it's the tone policing and the dictating of what people do in the rooms has got to just stop. I mean, I have my own rules, right? If someone does, death threats, I'll definitely send them off on their way, right? There are some standards or whatever in that sense. But I'm just not following this whole, like, you have to do a certain thing for me. Like, this is your own personal issue, right? With how I quote unquote enable people. I'm not enabling anybody. They can do whatever they want.
Are you done? Did you land your plane? I guess he did. So, Matt, listen, we could agree to disagree. I think if you bring people up and you mod them and they say egregious things, I can tell you some things, right? Roger has said egregious things. Roger will tell you. I have. Adams has. But rest assured, the names I'm throwing out here, Kelly has, Rohan, that moron Bren, but none of us have ever doxed anybody. I haven't, trust me, the thought has crossed my mind many times. And listen, Matt, like I said, I don't know what to say other than I like you. I think you're a good guy. You run good rooms. I go into your rooms, honestly, so I can sit back and not have to run my own rooms and just listen to the chaos. Because you do have some crazy people that go, listen, MAGA's crazy. You know this. So I go in there just to listen to the MAGA. I think it's funny. But we could agree to disagree, bro. But I still like you, and I'll still come to your rooms until I get kicked out again.
The one true Black King of Clubhouse is back. Welcome back, King. I like to call you the Black King, and I mean that respectfully. I hope you don't mind. But if you're like, nah, don't call me that, I will stop. Oh, I get a heart. Thank you. I don't want no smoke with Akima.
I'm gonna tell you guys a quick story. It's story time. Okay, Akima. Akima, you want to address that?
Oh no. I was only gonna say I don't want no smoke with that. Like the tongue lash that you just gave some people. I don't want no smoke with that.
Well, it makes you question respectfully. Should I call you King Akima from now on, or Your Majesty?
No, it's definitely not necessary. I have not earned that.
That's just me who refers to him as King.
I got a question for Matt Cool. I mean, I'm in Roger's room.
John,
yesterday.
you're very low, bro.
He's come from a whole nother cloth. All right, this man don't even eat food, really. You know what I'm saying?
He's also like 6'8", 240 solid. Be careful what you say to Akima people.
Right? Yeah, wait that up.
So I was in Mojo's hold on one second. I was in Mojo's room yesterday, and I come across Matt Cool's room supporting Darren LaHood with Dr. Adams against candidate Congressman John Kitover. Talk about loyalty and disloyalty. I mean, I voted for Trump two times. I did as much as I could for him on this app with you, and then I see you're endorsing the incumbent and $20 trillion debt super creator, vaccinologist rhinoceros Darren LaHood. And JB and Hakima are the biggest contributors to the campaign to elect Kitover. So Matt, I went in your room with Anonymous, and then we listened to the Dr. Pepe and Dr. Adams show where they were drunk off their asses, mumbling, drooling all over the mic, totally drunk, shitting all over and doxing Roger Mayhem, aka Mojo Positive Vibration. So Matt, I mean, I gotta say, as a leader, your moderation, as the green bean and putting together your little shit show yesterday, I gotta say, you should go look in the mirror, because if you haven't contributed $10 yet to the campaign to elect John Kitover, your status and your reputation will go way up if you also become a campaign contributor. Putting the link in the chat. Thanks in advance, Matt.
So again, when was I doxing Roger, John?
Wasn't you? It was Pepe. You were just happy as a girl at the bar on a Saturday night getting free cocktails, drunk and drooling and mumbling.
Got it. So Adams was I was certainly drunk. But again, I was having no, I was wasted. It was crazy. It was a very, very, very good night. And I didn't call you girl. Sorry. No, you're good. But, it's crazy to me. I just want to clear up a couple of things. My contention with Rich specifically is, the slew of sexual harassment that I've had to experience as far as being interrogated about my penis size, being interrogated as far as the hair that I have around my anus, and the things that, Rich fails to actually mention, when he brings up, the fact that him and I have an issue as far as him being a married man, and, continuing to say the colorful things that he says to me on this app. Now, going back to the John issue, because I do remember that, Pepe was in the space, Rich was in the space, and, I tend to be very carefully guarded as far as when Rich is present. So, John, I mean, I hate this for you. I really do. Shout out to LaHood, but at the same time, listen, at the end of the day, I hope that you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's, because again, it sounds like you're coming up to that threshold for which you do have to account for that money.
Yeah, we're at the $500 threshold. When we hit 5,000, then we have to start worrying about more, disclosures and regulations. But at this point, you're still not a donor to the campaign, Dr. Adams. And I know last night with the amount of vodka you drank, that was probably $100 worth of vodka you drank last night. Can't you spare $10 for the campaign tonight?
$200 to LaHood.
You gave $200 to LaHood, and I've been chatting with you for 4 years, making videos of you screaming out all kinds of racist, profane insults and derogatory remarks against people on this app. Oh my gosh. And right now, even with your Darren LaHood PTR campaign, I'm shooting videos. So thank you so much, Dr. Adams.
Great. Thank you.
All right, guys, you settled the debates. So what did I miss today? Seems there was a lot going on. I wasn't around. We have a poll up. Who's more hypersensitive on Clubhouse? Men are crybabies, women are the worst, or gay men? So far on stage, everybody's voted for men are the worst crybabies. Dolly's voted for that. Craig has voted for that. Randy, Scott, Moose. I gotta be honest, I'm shocked you voted that. David voted for women. Yeah, what's up, your piece? We got Jordan, Dr. Jordan in the house, an OG of Clubhouse. We got Curtis, we got Catherine, we got Roya, Mike Moon. So here's the story. From the cracker in the corner. It's going to be a quick story, I promise. I won't put you people to sleep. So, somebody reached out to me, right? Somebody that I like, I believe he likes me, and said, can I talk to you offline? I'm like, absolutely. And when we spoke offline, because I like this guy, he said to me, man, listen, I did a little deep dive research into you. I'm like, really? What'd you find? Because I've been transparent. He said, man, I just want to say I have so much respect and admiration for what you've been through and how far you've come. And man, that shit really touched me, the way he spoke to me, man to man. And really he took the time to do the research. You know, he didn't grab the lowest hanging fruit. Because I talk about my criminal past so ad nauseum, I'm sick of it, to be honest with you. But I definitely want to shout out that man, Mike Moon. Mike Moon's one of the real ones. Yeah, Mike gets loud, Mike gets boisterous, Mike gets a little crazy sometimes. But let me tell you something, Mike Moon's a good dude for the fact that he humanized my experience. So, Mikey, I appreciate you, man. I admire you. Thank you for that. Guys, going popcorn style. I got to step away for 2 minutes.
All righty, healthy debates. Y'all see the poll up there. I voted for men, of course. Initially, I put women.
Here in Clubhouse that these rooms are being streamed.
And they get really triggered if you say go Trump. But then I thought men are, especially my experience on this app this week dealing with certain men, a handful of them, less than a handful. Yeah, they are the biggest babies. Somebody said earlier,
the slew of sexual harassment that I've had to experience as far as being interrogated about my penis size.
You can't make this shit up.
Threatening to rape each other's wives and children. And so, you know, as a matter of fact, true alpha males don't even have time to spend all day on this damn app. They might dip in and out. They might even engage in a little bit of drama for entertainment. But, you know, they don't resort to doxing because they have grievances. You know, so go ahead, Matt.
And why? Who's harassing you? No one should be harassing you. You just go ahead and you send me that name over. I'll take care of it. Next thing you'll hear from me has been taken care of, okay?
Oh, wait, are you shooting your shot, Matt?
I got a little mix there going on, yeah.
You got a good taste, brother.
What did you say? You got a little what going on? Nixter?
No, mix. I'm shooting shot and trying to help you out at the same time.
Oh, okay. Got it. I appreciate you, man. I've grown fond of Matt. No, Matt. Yeah, I've been catching strays. this week. I said, I'm going to stay out of this white-on-white violence. Sometimes I spend so much time in the white rooms, I got to go into the extra blackety-black rooms to reclaim my black card. I'm like, God damn. Let me wash some of this red off my neck from all these rooms I've been in.
What black rooms? Like, are you talking about, like, the black people all married to white women?
And Alan should be ashamed of himself. Well, for tax work requirements, I think there's something going on with the whole U.S. Constitution, Illinois running against. I think zero problem. Suppose you have all time,
I saw at least 10 rooms like that. Like I could not believe that shit existed.
Now I'm gonna keep an eye out on what rooms Hakima's going in, so I can join some of these houses.
I'm gonna tell you, I'll see me in some weird rooms coming in. Y'all gonna be like, what the fuck is this shit? Y'all gonna be like, wow.
I was wondering why you were in that Pakistani room.
No, I don't understand that language.
It's like to Biden. Yeah, I must have accidentally joined a Pakistani room. I don't think I did, but my hallway is laced with Pakistani rooms. And I just don't, I feel like when I leave one, another one pops up. I'm like, God, no.
I think they be following you in like different languages. It's definitely like, I got all kind of Pakistani, all kind of, I don't even know what they is, like different language rooms all through the hallway. Like where did shit come from?
I joined a house called Republicans. And child, when I go in there, it's all Africans speaking in their language. They're not even American. I said, what? This is a bait and switch. What in the hell is this? I thought I was going into a room to listen to some American Republicans talk about Trump and the economy and et cetera, and it's all Africans speaking Swahili and shit. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is the ultimate trick bag.
A slew of sexual harassment that I've had to experience.
This app is dying. And then you look around your hallway, man, some of those Iranian rooms, the Pakistani rooms, there's 5,000-6,000 people in those rooms. This app's not dying. We just gotta expand our circle. We all know too much about it. Listen, I know when Matt comes to my stage, I know what side of the aisle he sits on. I know what side Adam sits on, Hakima, right? But this app's not dying. We just have to expand our circles.
Yeah, one way to do that, somebody reminded me the other day. Well, not reminded me. They were speaking on the stage, and they said, "Listen, I was reminded we have to follow the mods when we with speakers when we go into these rooms. Follow maybe not everybody, but just follow some of the speakers on the stage. Follow the moderators, because as we know, that's how we open up our hallway. And I honestly had forgotten about that little trick on Clubhouse, right? That you want to open up your
He whose law is within himself walks in hiddenness, takes not influenced by
resistance to admitting that the country is broke. This has made
oftentimes have new speakers. I'll just go in there, follow some of those speakers, and then of course, as we know, those speakers go into rooms that you haven't seen before. And I'm glad I was reminded of that little trick, that little Clubhouse trick. So for newbies in the room, if you're new to the app, or old heads, Clubhouse old heads, you may have forgotten, how do I expand my reach? Follow folks that you wouldn't normally follow. Follow folks whose opinion you might not even agree with, because sometimes they'll go into a room with people who have TDS like you do, right? So, yeah.
Well, I'll suggest one room that I absolutely love, right? I don't think she's in here right now, but I'm gonna shout out for those who don't know PB. Man, PB hosts rooms. They're always small rooms. They're intimate. No cap, no bullshit. Probably some of the smartest people on the app go in there. Have great time. There's no doxing. There's no toxicity. When she comes in, if she comes in, her name is P.Bee, PB. Follow that lady, man. You actually might learn something for free on this app. Amazing.
JB and NY and Dr. Adams, what makes you think that why more people don't come on stage anymore? That's one thing I didn't notice lately is like you go into a room and there are like 4 people on stage. Do you think everybody's just kind of burnt out a little bit? Oh God, excellent point. The guy on my right here, that was a game changer. I think everybody's scared of this guy right here to the right. So that cleared out a lot of rooms.
Scared? What are you scared about me for? I'm just running for Congress. I didn't create $37 trillion in debt or $100 trillion in unfunded debt liabilities. I'm trying to fix a solution. Meanwhile, you guys are having racist, unhinged, deranged wasting of time day in, day out, talking about nothing. And you're worried about somebody's live streaming your room about boring shit. And you're the moderator allowing doxing and toxic communication.
Wait. Who's being racist? If I remember correctly, John, when you had a slow news day on this app, you were going into rooms with Shy and Jazzy and attacking black single mothers.
Sorry, that's not me. That might be you. You got me confused with yourself, Dr. Adams. That's called projection, Dr. Adams.
Right? So JB.
Yeah, I live stream everything, so you can go look at all my YouTubes and I record everything I do. So feel free to find the evidence. Post the receipts, Dr. Adams. Post your receipts, Matt.
Everybody meet up. You gotta handle your men here. What were you saying, Matt?
So he records everything, so there should be a recording of this. We need to have a whole room just on what you said, right, John?
Yeah, go ahead. Post the receipts. I record everything.
No, you have the receipts. You're the one that should bring it to us.
No, you're the one asking for receipts, so post them yourselves. I do all the heavy lifting over here.
Hold on. There is no reason to go after freaking Roger. Okay, if anybody was concerned about this deranged man's campaign, okay, this man is going to sink him damn self all on his lonesome. Okay, you have attacked black single mothers. You've attacked many different people in your
Again, you might be projecting and confusing me for yourself, Dr. Adams.
Have you looked up your numbers? Your approval rating, John? You're not even on the radar. So again, shout out to Darren LaHood, okay? Darren LaHood, who's going to be good for the hood, okay?
let me jump in. Let me jump in here real quick. Before I get to the great Nicholas, Matt, I have a question for you. I'm not looking for smoke. I'm just trying to get some clarity.
Okay, Darren.
Not you, Nicholas. I'm going to ask Matt. I promise I'm going to get you in a second.
Before you get to Nicholas always requires a reset. So make sure Mother gets a great reset, right, Mother? Mother needs her reset the room.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he's sharp. He can pick it up. But Matt, let me ask you a question. You know what happened with Roger yesterday. Are you okay with all that? And I'm not saying you had anything to do with it, even though I've heard whispers. I'm just curious. You're okay with what happened to Roger? I'm just asking, are you okay with that?
Matt had nothing to do with it. I know that for a fact.
Adams, let Matt answer for himself. It happened in his space, and I'm just curious if he was okay with that.
So just give me some context. What issue do you have a problem with? Just so I'm clear what we're clear.
I didn't say I had an issue or a problem. I said I want to know if you were okay with Roger getting doxxed. Are you okay with that?
I don't think he got doxxed. That's why I'm asking you for context.
Okay. Then I must have misunderstood what I was told. You don't think he was so not just a picture, but his work history was spoken on, his family was spoken on, his elderly mother was spoken on. Now I don't know if it was in your space or not, but are you okay with all that?
So if it's public, you can't be doxxed, right? I mean, his picture, I suppose, is out there already in public, clearly, because someone got it. They didn't go and, ask him for it. So that's okay. LinkedIn is a public site. That's how you get hired. So I don't know how that information can be doxxed. I'm just a little confused. Now, I will hand you this. I would never do what Pepe did. I thought it was distasteful. But he has a right to do that. I mean, I would have never done that, but that's just the way things go. This is Clubhouse, man.
Well, if it's done to you, you're gonna have the same attitude. I'm just kidding. Not that I'm gonna do it to you, because I like you, but if it's done to you, you feel the same way. Because if you're on LinkedIn, because my belief is this, Matt. Nobody's untouchable on this app, right? Nobody. If they kill presidents in this country, your information can easily be acquired. So my thing is, if it happened to you, would you feel the same way?
I don't. If it happened to me, if it's information I don't want out there in terms of not public, of course I'm gonna have a problem with that. Yeah, that's fucked up. Doxing's should be never done.
Oh, so but now it's doxing because your name was interjected into it.
No,
5 minutes ago, because it's public, it's not doxing. I'm just trying to get clarity.
Well, we gotta make it definite. That's why I was trying to get context, because we obviously disagree on the definition of doxing, right?
Well, I think if somebody, hold on, Matt. I think if somebody who's been on this app for years hasn't divulged their real picture, their real name, their job history, their mother's name, then you know what? To me, that's doxing. When somebody comes on a social audio app without somebody's permission and talks on that, whether it's public knowledge or not, that's doxing, bro. There's a reason he didn't give that information out.
But the information is freely available. That's the difference. It's not like
but you have a choice whether to disseminate that and distribute it to the public. I have a choice. Listen, I have files on so many people that I don't even ask for. Do you know how many times I've used any of that information? Zero. Just because it's public doesn't mean I should do it. Hold on, Matt. I'm not looking to fight with you. I'm just saying, man, at some point, some people's moral compasses have to be affixed because they're askew, where they think that private information, if you don't use, if I use my real picture, I use my real name, right? But let's say Nye did it. There's a reason people don't. It's not my place to publicize it, Matt. Maybe that's just my moral compass and not yours. I'm just saying.
Well, that's my part. That's the part where I say it's just distasteful. It's not doxing, because there's a real legal definition and a real thing around this that what doxing really is. Because if it's actionable stuff, if Pepe came on there and said, "Oh, find this guy at this address. This is what he looks like," and go rob him or kill him, that's doxing. You know what I mean? That's
so Matt, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you go and apply for a job in the context of work history, right? You are giving that said employer the right to be able to dig into your work history. And they're only able to do so, right, if you sign a certain set of disclosures. Is that correct?
You're talking about almost terms of service, but for an employer and LinkedIn, right? You're talking about in general, like that.
No, but I'm just saying, as far as like people's, right to privacy along certain pieces of information. So even if you apply for a job, they can't just indiscriminately, just go and start doing, reference checks and background checks on your employment history, right? There's a certain set of disclosures that you have to sign.
Yeah, there's a process.
At least, and I'm speaking specifically in my state, right? So again, it's a very slippery slope, when people create the justification of seeking and extracting information that's otherwise public, yes, okay, but in the context of what it's being then used for. That's a very, very, very interesting question.
Well, that begs the question, how was Pepe using it in a wrong way?
One could argue as a means to harass.
Matt, let me just say this. The name you keep bringing up, I want it to be known publicly. I have not said that name one time tonight, so I want that known, because that person's going to say, oh, you were talking about me, and then open rooms. His name never came out of my mouth, so I need that to be publicly known. But Matt and Adams, continue. I apologize.
So, David brought up a very good point. It's malicious intent. And, even some of these background websites and a lot of places where people are finding information, about people in Clubhouse, like they have certain terms and conditions of even those vehicles of information. And I don't think that people are really safeguarding themselves, because a lot of those places are putting terms of saying that you cannot utilize this information found through these channels to then go and harass somebody. What's up to be, Nicholas?
Okay, so I actually, when I agree with Adams, but partially I agree with Adams. And I also will say, like, Matt, I love you, as a brother, but you have a tendency to let chaos and fuckery go on full display in your mind.
Of sexual harassment that I've had to experience as far as being interrogated about my penis size.
Of like ridiculous shit going on in your room that don't get that you just let it fly, And I think some of it is like you like fuckery and you enjoy listening to it, but you don't want to be put directly into the middle of the fuckery. And then the second thing I want to say is this poll, they should have straight men in here, because straight men are some of the wildest bitches on this app.
Well, when I put men are crybabies, that's what I did.
I should have voted for that. Voted for gay men.
You can change your vote. Go ahead, Matt.
Thank you for backing up my vote, Nicholas.
Can I vote again?
I hit the purple one.
You could change it. Just where the poll says change. There you go. I'm sorry.
Changed it.
But I don't know if you were when you came in on my conversation, but again, if I'm guilty of chaos, have you been around Clubhouse? I guess everybody's guilty of chaos, right?
Not me. You don't see me hosting crazy.
Well, you don't host rooms, yeah, because you would never dare do that, because chaos would break out. Actually, that's a great point, Nicholas. Why don't you host the room? And we'll see wait. We'll see how smooth it goes.
Wait, right? You asked me why I don't host rooms, because I don't have
patience. Not why you don't. Why don't you?
Oh yeah, Mike. Have you noticed that the moment I'm not interested in a conversation, I leave? I don't have the patience like JB to entertain you dumb fucks. The moment I'm not, I would just throw them into the hallway immediately, and then that defeats the point of a room. That's why I don't host rooms.
It'd be chaos, wouldn't it, Nicholas?
No, it wouldn't, because that would get rid of
You're tossing people out. That's chaos.
No, I wouldn't even say anything. They would just be gone.
Yeah,
but Matt, I guess the question is, how does it make you feel being the organizer of chaos? Like, does that make you a leader? Does it make you an immature man? Does it make you somebody who engages in gossip, slander, defamation, libel? What is it, Matt, about? Is it the dopamine? What is it, Matt? Explain yourself.
This is crazy. John, I just want to point out that the reason why people are fighting in this type of polarized manner amongst these circles is because of you, okay? It's simply because of you, right? So again, you are the one that came out into the open, and you are the one that decided that my mouth pussy. You are the one that decided that you want to run for Congress, and because of that, it created all of this vitriol. You are the reason why all of this is the one that came out into.
I disagree. This has been going on long before John Kitover decided to run for Congress. And listen, do I agree with him live streaming? Not really, but you know what? Honestly, I don't care. I'm not saying anything that's going to be held against me. People, and not you, Adams, if don't apply, let it fly. People are too hypersensitive to what other people do. Listen, he knows people feel uncomfortable with him live streaming. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care. Now, he's running for public office. You know what, Adams? That may come back to bite him in the ass. I don't know. But personally, me, I don't consider live streaming a free social audio app doxing. What I do consider doxing is you ascertaining somebody's information that they've tried to keep off this app and you publicly broadcast it. That's doxing to me. And that's just wrong. Now, here's the thing. If you want, I'm going to use myself as an example. You want to dox me, right? You want to say JB is an ex-con and all this, that's fine, I don't care. But when you go to the next level where you bring up people's families, their work history, right, where they live, yeah, these are lines. If anybody thinks that that's not wrong, JB, then they really need to get your moral compass checked. But I just put up a new poll. Is it ever okay to share someone's personal info on Clubhouse? I have absolutely no, it's morally wrong. Karma gets everybody. So guys, we're going to go popcorn style. If you're in the VIP section, you want to come up, you're more than welcome. We have a pink ticket. Please cash it in. We have great conversations like this. Yeah, we got some great people here. We got Howard. We got BB who wants to come out. We got Gildas that wants to come up. I like Gildas. We got Your Piece, one of my favorite people on this app. David, Mike Moon, Joe B in the house. Mary's been hanging out for a while. Good to see you, Mary. My man Gildas, what's good, brother?
Rich, maybe Ken, real quick. I got Rich trying to get me into a private. That's how crazy this is all gone.
Right, because he can't get into the room. So, I mean, do what you guys want to do.
Wait, Adams, hold on. Matt, Gildas, give me a second. I apologize. Matt, let me ask you a question. Why do you believe somebody like Rich can't get into my space? I'm just curious. Why do you think that is?
He's blocked by 2 of the 3 mods.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened. I'm just saying.
He can't go. Listen, Matt. This is what I want you to do. I'm sorry for cutting you off. Go, because I didn't throw him out, by the way. Go into the chat and read what he was writing about me. Why would I want that toxicity in my space when I knew he was in the room and I didn't mention his name until he started talking about me? But go into the chat, go back maybe an hour, and see what they're saying about me. Would you want that in your space? Because I've had enough of it. See, if I don't breathe air into the fire dies out. And what I mean by that is if I don't have him in my spaces, I don't have to worry about him. And that's just how I feel. Gildas, how you doing, my man?
Hey, man, I'm doing all right. I don't know much about the controversy that took place. I was kind of in the room earlier, yesterday, but I don't remember, what was going on with Pepe and Roger, so I won't even speak on that. But I will say, man, just for the record, JB, I used to live in New York City for about 10 years, and, no homo or nothing, but you really remind me of, the best of New Yorkers every time I hear you speak, man. I'm always happy to hear you, conflict resolved and check people, and, man, you're a true, cornerstone of a corner store New Yorker.
Man, I appreciate that, and people won't realize what that means to a New Yorker. So I appreciate that, man. I'm leaving New York, Gildas, probably within the next 6 to 8 months. I'm moving to Texas because when this guy Mamdani gets elected, bro, I don't want to be here.
Yeah, I can understand that, man. Sometimes you gotta change, but the essence will always be with you. So, continue on, Jedi.
I appreciate it, bro. I'll tell you what, I have a sign in my office that says, You can leave Brooklyn, but Brooklyn can never leave you.
JB, I gotta ask you a question. I don't understand. You voted Kamala and Tim Walz. Kamala and Mamdani are pretty similar on positions.
No, my man. Mamdani is Kamala on steroids. So I'm not even going near that one. But I want to welcome BB to the stage. What's up, BB?
Okay, so one thing, I'm Persian. I'm a Westerner, and I was thinking,
Okay, they're in the hood. Who's going to be good for the hood? Okay, and you're gonna lose.
What's up, David? How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Wait. Did you move her? Because I want to make it clear that I didn't, because we were in the.
I absolutely moved her. She's a drunk.
Yeah, no, I like, come on, like, what's a cock bucket, JB? Like, she always flirts with me in the chat. Like, what's going on?
Listen, bro.
I just wanted JB to clarify that it was him, not me, because we were in the muff the other day, and she's in the chat saying to me, she's always centering herself. So I want her to know, BB, the bitch who centers didn't center you and didn't move you down, okay? I just want to clarify that so you're not whining in the chat and blaming me. Thank you. Y'all continue.
Listen, I know BB for quite a while. If you catch BB during the daytime, you may have a decent conversation. But at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, BB is like David Bobadilla. So, yeah, I'm not putting up with that. I don't know why she comes up the stages to deflect off the conversation. But let's get back to the conversation. Mr. Katz, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Had a good day. Worked some at the casino. Had a good day there. I missed most of today, so I can't tell you anything about what you missed today. I'd say you missed.
And you're gonna lose.
Maybe 3 days.
Let me jump in. Let me jump in.
Which I've heard.
Before I get to Green Nichols, I have questions.
Doesn't have, years that
A slew of sexual harassment that I've had to experience as far as being a tip.
In the last 3 days.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's all right. Other than that, it's been typical Clubhouse.
Those two were worse than gay men, like going at each other's necks. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, gay men would have been more original.
Hey, but let me say something. Let me give Keegan a little. I'm not going to give him flowers. I'm going to give him a single flower. Keegan had a room right the other day about Brad, and he got that room packed, and it was all about nothing. Keegan was able to manipulate some of you people, including myself, to pop into that room, and it was like the trip in Alaska yesterday. It was a nothing burger, that summit. So, we're all susceptible to being dumb. But I give Keegan credit because he played on our dumbness.
Not me, I didn't show up.
That room was packed. That was the most people that Keegan's ever been around in his life. But good for him. He knew how to play it.
Jay, listen. You need to give Cray his flowers, okay? And you need to give people from the dark side that were sitting in the goo, because Key has been fucking with a lot of those people for a very long time, and Cray packed his ass up. So again, I feel like Cray needs to be the one to be getting the flowers for making that room popping.
Listen, I got nothing but respect and admiration for Craig. I like Craig, I always have. Him and I, thank God, always got along. Never had to worry about him coming after me.
Well,
John Kitover, you got something to say?
yeah, look at Jane down there. Poor, beautiful, innocent Jane just comes on the app to enjoy herself. Meanwhile, she suffers the brunt of Brad's death threats. So, Brad has a tendency to do death threat Tourette's in the same way that a lot of losers here do the N-word Tourette's, like Pepe and others. So on my Instagram at John Kitover, you can see a legal warning for defamation and libel against Brad, because for 2 days straight, he roasted me about stolen valor and how I'm a fraud and I'm not running for Congress. So everything, 2 days straight. I mean, this is typical Brad Tornado, where he goes on a rampage and attacks people. And I've towed the line with drill sergeants. I got no problem with some social audio chat warrior screaming at me for 2 days. Have at it. It's good for my publicity. So, my point is, I fight back, I post, I live stream, and anybody who wants to defame me or besmirch my character, I'm more than happy to record you doing it, and I'll post it so the whole world can see it on the internet. I got no problem with that.
Thank you, John. Let me. A couple people just walked into the room, and I have to say this, because we've been having a real conversation. Yo, Nebraska, man, I gotta tell you, and I said this the other day. I don't know what happened to you that you got this switch going on, and I know it doesn't matter what I say. You shouldn't really give a fuck, but I have to tell you, I'm really disappointed in some things I've been hearing coming out of you. You're better than, and I believe that you're better than that because I've shared enough space with you to say that. You continue doing you, and you can come up and you can gaslight my stage and all that other stuff. But let me tell you something. I don't know if it's because you got chillism in your blood now. You hang out in that space, and that's your prerogative. But the interactions you and I've had, I'm a little disappointed in you. But before I continue, before I give you a chance, Bima, let me just say this. And a lot of you people won't agree, and I don't give a fuck. Jane's a real one. Jane's a New York girl, and she knows all. Jane is the real deal. I have a lot of affection and admiration for Jane. And if anybody don't, that's your problem, not mine. What's up, Nebraska?
Hey, what's going on? What do you mean? We haven't even had any interactions. What did I do? You got me right?
I know who I'm talking to.
Yeah, what did I say? What have I said? Tell me.
Well, your anti-Semitic stance really bothers me. I don't know. I've never heard it before in the years we've been around each other. That's your prerogative. If you want to hate Jews, that's on you. But, I'm just disappointed in how you're disseminating your information and how you become an anti-Semite. And, I also believe that, and I have no proof of it, it's just in my head, my crazy voices, Bima, that you're okay that Roger got doxxed because you had some smoke with Roger. But that, like I said, is just a voice in my head. But the anti-Semitism, bro, not cool.
Well, I mean, Jay, the first thing is
Bima, let me just say this. The comment that you made towards Incan, as a proud indigenous man, in my personal opinion, I feel like that was so incredibly offensive. And I don't even think that you realize exactly what you said. It was so incredibly dehumanizing, it was so incredibly degrading, and it was on the wrong form as to the person that Jay is describing that we became acquainted with at the beginning times of this app. So I can definitely second what he's saying. I definitely see the evolution.
In which I said what I said that day. You're like everybody else. You just pick up the information like a sheep and you repeat it because that's just what you do. So, and that's fine. I'm not disappointed. That's just what it is. And JB, it's interesting. I won't be coming into your rooms anymore, and that's fine. But listen to me. What's interesting is if you were to listen to my political positions.
Well, if you're not going to come into my rooms anymore, then don't come to my stage. I don't need you. I don't want you. If you're going to spew your anti-Semitism, go back to chillism. They're more than embrace you. But you act like you're doing me a favor by coming to my fucking stage. Lady, you need to wake the fuck up. Because I liked you, I was giving you the courtesy to say I was disappointed in you. But the truth is this. I think you've lost your way. And you're drinking whatever Kool-Aid they're serving in chillers. I don't give a fuck. Like I said, you're entitled to your opinion. But don't come up here and with the sweet little voice like you're the victim when you're spewing hate all over the fucking app. This is not my first rodeo.
Slew of sexual harassment that I've had to experience as far as being interrogated about my penis size, being interrogated as far as the hair that I have around my anus, and things that...
What the fuck? You can't make this shit up. It's just crazy.
John, don't know you that well. Thank you for calling out the viciousness.
Yeah, it's not just vicious, it's illegal. It's death threats, and it's death threats Tourette's. I posted the code he's violating. You can't just make sentence after sentence a death threat and jumble it all together and think people aren't listening and recording you. It's Tourette's or it's, something else, but it's illegal to do and you can't do it on this app. And I don't know why you have thousands of followers and you can go to room and just issue death threats. If you don't agree with somebody, fine, kick them to the goo, have a debate. But but you can't come on here and make death threats to people in every other sentence. It's insane.
And JP, by the way, if I can work with our friend John, I'll get a clip of this because I got to follow up on this one. I've had so many I didn't. My daughter walks in, Jay. It's a funny story too. She's visiting, and she says, "Hang it up, Mom." So she was moved out of Manhattan when she was 7 or 8, but she still has it, Jay. She heard Brad. She knows I fuck around with psychos on Clubhouse. She heard Brad saying, "Get a rope and kill yourself." I think he said he was also going to rape somebody. So the guy's gone off the deep end. So I'm really glad we have John Kitover. And I don't care who's friends with him. If you're friends with him,
Contribute to
help
the
him
campaign
out.
now.
You shouldn't do that. It's not smart.
You know what I always find? Hold on, Ash. Let me just say this, and then you can jump in real quick. You know what I always find, for lack of a better word, Jane? You know what I always find crazy? And I'm not doxing you, and I don't even want you to speak on it. But if these idiots only knew what you did for work, oh my God, it's bizarre to me. They have no idea anything about you in real life. But go ahead, Adams.
You know, I feel like everybody has kind of a different relationship with different people on this app. And I will categorically say that from my experience with Brad and, just having life happen to me on this app, while being on this app, not this is life, but, just in my personal life and going through just different milestones and whatnot. Brad is probably one of the most kindest, human beings and male figures that I've ever encountered on this app. Now, again, going back to my point,
Get out of everybody, buddy. Come to me. We'll help you out.
Everybody has a different relationship. So, I encourage you to actually maybe revisit a different interlude and a different introduction with Brad, because he really, truly is one of the most kindest people that I've met on this app.
Well, because we don't have a relationship, Adams, but I have no, as they say, beef with you. I don't know that you do with me. I will take your word for that. But if he's your friend, you should tell him to say sorry. It's not that fucking hard.
I think Dr. Adams has said before, both things can be true. I've heard him be a first responder.
Be nice and say that kind of shit. Something's wrong with
I don't agree that. I do agree that it is sick. And I don't need to even have that.
I'm sorry, David. I'm going to defend my friend. Do you guys hear the context for which his family was being brought up on this app throughout this week? Okay, one of the most painful struggles that any human can go through is choosing a person to raise a family with, to confide in, to be their life partner, and to not finish that race due to something that they cannot practically
This is where like Adams breaks in with projection. It's pretty funny.
People should have been donating to cancer treatment. Okay, people should be.
No, they should have been donating to the campaign to elect Congressman candidate Kitover.
It's very disgusting. It's just, hold on. It's just very disgusting that people look at Brad's actions and it's met with a dismissiveness as to what actually triggered him and what actually brought us to this place.
Well, let me jump in, James.
I had cancer. I didn't do that.
Let me jump in.
No, but somebody, Keegan said to Brad, "Did you kill your wife?" And that was really fucking low. Yeah.
All right, but still, come on.
And Brad has endured that a long time on this app. Like, I can remember somebody saying something to the effect.
I just think he's very hateful, okay?
Well, to his, to back him up, man, people have said shit like, "I'm gonna dig up your wife's grave," and you know what I mean? And it's like, God damn, when you're faced with that kind of shit, you have a reason to go off the rails.
Gildas, I agree with you, but in the context that we're talking.
Wait. Let me jump in here real quick. So first off, Brad's not here, so we shouldn't be speaking on Brad because
By the time it gets back to Brad, he's gonna get all the wrong information.
You go bananas. This is like charging the TNT.
So Brad's not here. But I'll say this, Adams. Brad and I banged a million times on this app, right? We're civil to each other now. And I'm just using him as an example because his name's been brought up. But here's the deal. In my opinion, right? You can do 100 good things in real life. All it takes is one mistake to wash all that good away. So if somebody's coming on this app threatening to rape somebody or hang somebody or come kick their whatever people are saying, to me, once you cross that line, and I get it, I totally get it. People said the most egregious things to him, but look, man, look what was done. Look what was done today, right? There's a rumor about me for like 3 or 4 hours. They were ranting and raving and stuff like that. You know what I say? My response was going to be no response. Sometimes you just got to be the bigger man and walk away. And here's the deal, Adams, and here's how I really feel. Women have softer voices than men. We're louder. There's no reason to be punching down, and some of these women are egregious animals, no doubt. But you know what? If you just ignore them, they go away. That's how I feel. Like I said, John, Brad's not here, so we're not going to talk about Brad. It's not respect. I respect Brad enough to give that courtesy.
Thank
so,
you.
Adams,
I do appreciate that. I as a mutual friend to both of you, I do appreciate that. Let's just move on. He's not here, and I do appreciate you acknowledging that.
Well, let me say this. Everybody in this room heard what I said. Gildas heard me. Kima heard me, right? But by the time it gets back to Brad, Gildas, JB was talking shit about you. He was doing this. I never said, I just said the man's not here. Let's not talk about it.
I understand completely.
Let me say hello to Mikey Moon. Mikey Moon, good to see you, brother.
Hey, good to see you too, man. Well, before we stop talking about him, I just want to ask Dr. Adams, is there anything that somebody could say
Mike Moon also hates Brad.
Anything.
Forgot about this.
Your mom, about your wife, anything that would make you say, I know where you live, I'm going to drive to your house, and I'm going to rape your wife.
Who said that?
Brad said that. And it was, and I was there, and I heard it. And to this day, he will never admit that he says any of the shit we've talked about. But trust me, he said it. I'm asking you that question. This is the guy that now, I'm not saying two things can't be true at once. I'm not saying he can't be.
Hold on, Mike. Mike, you're my friend. I like you. I said nice things about you. But we need to move past this. And listen, Brad's not, Brad was here to defend himself, bro. Speak all night about Brad. But he's not, this is one of the problems we have. People do it to me, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck. But you know what?
I'm not saying
here. Maybe he does give a fuck. Mike, listen, you've had a crazy experience on this app. I'm having a conversation.
I've never even come close to saying that, though, Jay.
Okay, but you're a different man than he is. He's not here, Mike. I want to show him the courtesy that I would hope he shows me. And you know what? Maybe he won't. But maybe by doing it.
Actually, he won't.
JB, I understand what you're saying.
Let me finish.
Yes, listen, I understand what you're saying, JB.
Let me finish, Mike. But here's the thing. He's not here. I don't want to talk about it. Respect the space. I get, Mike. I understand. I was in the room with you the other day. You were going scorched earth on him. I get it. I know how you feel about him. And some other people feel very similar to how you do. But he's not here. What's the point of talking about it? Then that just makes us the gossips, bro. I know what he said. I've heard him say the most egregious things. But irregardless of that, he's not here to defend himself. This is one of the problems with Clubhouse. Let's move on. There's so many other things we can talk about. Like, Mike, no bullshit, you're probably one of the smartest people on this app. We could go in so many directions. If I want to talk photography, you're my dude. If I want to talk history, you're my dude. Brad's not here. I don't want to talk about him.
It's all good. It's like, it's fair enough.
And I'm just gonna, again, in sentiment to what you said, Jay. I'm just gonna respond in saying this. This is not a union. This is not a clubhouse union. This is not collective bargaining rights. Okay, your issue with a said person is your issue with a said person. We just want to move on, have polite conversation, and just simply move on. And I hope that you can just respectfully agree to disagree in the notion that we just simply have different experiences and different relationships with different people. That's it.
please let's move on because Brad.
Well, why don't we ask Dr. Adam to?
Hold on. Brad has blamed, and I like Brad, but this week Brad blamed me for shit that I didn't have nothing to do with on multiple occasions. And the slow sluts in the room, no one in particular, y'all will go back and say, JB and I were hosting a room tonight and talking about Brad, and we're talking about Brad, and then I'll catch another straight from Brad. So yeah, let's please move on.
I'll just say this. Hold on, John. I don't want you. Don't even bring up his name, please. I'm asking you to respect the space, but I'll say this. And I'm not defending Brad. He said egregious things. I've said egregious things. We all have, right? But here's the deal. Brad has always been Brad. He's never deviated from who he is on this app. Now, I don't know if he's like that in real life. I don't care. So if you know that this guy is the way he is and he bothers you, just don't be around him. Go to a different space. There's literally 5,000 rooms on this app, right? I'm trying to start cultivating conversations that don't have the toxicity, right? I'm really trying. Mike, there was a room on me tonight about 3 hours. Somebody was screaming. I won't mention the name because I won't breathe life into it. But when you come into my spaces, everybody comes to my space. Every once in a while, we catch lightning in a bottle and we have a conversation that people leave this room and say, wow, that was a great fucking conversation. John, I'm telling you, I'm trying to give you grace, but if you gaslight, I'm throwing you out.
No, I'm not going to gaslight. I'm not going to talk about anybody else or former speakers. You know, in the Muff, in Mojo's room, the rule is don't bring old drama from old rooms into this room. And that brings you into the now. So the now is all important. And I'm just wondering, why is Dr. Adams supporting Darren LaHood against the campaign to elect candidate Congressman Kitover?
Dude, I don't want to talk about your campaign anymore. We're done with that. Not tonight.
Can I say something really quickly? Hold
Please.
on. Before this person leaves the room. Abby, I don't mean to call you out. I have tons of respect for Abby, but I want to issue an apology to Abby because I didn't get a chance to do this the other day in the Muff. There was a heated discussion going on, Abby and somebody else. I don't remember what they were talking about. Maybe it was Trump. I don't know. But they were very, very passionate in their discussion. And I think at some point I said, yes, please move on. And I know it probably felt dismissive, Abby, and I wanted to apologize because I was not trying to shut you up or shut you down. I respect you. I respect your voice. And I don't know if you left the room feeling some way. I did. I was just bored overall with the constant Trump conversation and Putin and whatever we were discussing in that room. I know one or two of the mods were trying to move on to a whole new topic, and it was impossible to move on. So I wanted to apologize to Abby. And Abby, I'm sorry for censoring you, but I see you're here, and I just wanted to apologize if my saying, you might not even remember this, but I do, and it's been heavy on my heart since that day. And I said next time I see Abby, I'm going to apologize to Abby. So this is my apology to Abby. I was not trying to dismiss you or shut you down. Or not give you space to speak. So that's it. Thank you.
Well, let me say this. Abby's a tough Philly girl. Trust me. She is banged with some of the biggest people on this app. People mistake her. She's the way she speaks, right? She's so eloquent. She's so nice that she's weak. Abby's one of the toughest ladies on this app. And listen, I love Abby. Abby and I haven't always agreed, but Abby's always welcome in my space. And I appreciate the apology.
She's too tough, Jay. I need to butter her up for the campaign, and she's already given to AIPAC, which is given to Darren LaHood.
Okay, I'm not talking about that campaign.
I knew that was coming. Oh,
man. I want to say that you are one of the most even-handed, kind people on the app. There's no question about it. And you are a blessing in every room.
He's going to regret ever contributing to the campaign. He's going to do a card charge back.
Frankly, because you're so kind and gentle under pressure, and you apologize when you feel like you made mistakes, which shows that you have empathy and that you second guess yourself after the fact and feel guilty and have a little bit of shame sometimes, and all these things that normal people with good hearts have. I mean, Lord knows I have a ton.
Point now, you know that. I always call out for that, like war crimes. Why are we talking about that idea? I want to talk about Hamas. You want to talk about war crimes? Well, let's talk about Hamas.
I'm sick of fucking talking about IDF when there's no war crimes being